Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to take an enumeration and use that data within that enumeration to populate a combo box. It's a fairly common scenario. It's actually something I ran into very recently. And the scenario is something like this. I have an enumeration. It contains values and descriptions. I like to use that information inside of a combo box because chances are it contains, or it is a foreign key or a lookup value in my database. And I like to have a user be able to select it. So today we'll take a look at how to do this. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we want to do today is actually create our enumeration. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and create a file called enums, and I'm going to create an enumeration. We're going to call this available colors, and I'm going to do something like black. So I'll create 4. Now that I've got my colors, I actually want to do something or build something. I'll actually loop through these enumerations and actually grab each of the values out. So let's go ahead and do this. There's multiple different ways you can do this. The first way we'll look at how to do it via reflection or using the system.reflection namespace. Then we'll actually take a look at how to do the same thing, but throw some link twist in there for you. Let's go ahead and create a public static void. We'll create void for now. We'll actually have it return some data here in a second. And we want this to actually allow the enumeration to be passed in. So the first thing I want to need to do is, there's a couple different ways. The first thing is, there is this helper method called enum.getNames. Now if all I wanted to do is get the names of my enumeration, so each individual element, black, blue, red, I could just do this and be done with it. But since I actually want to get the numeric values, I want to do a little bit more. Let's do for each. I'm going to loop through each of my names. And now becomes the tricky part where all the magic's going to come in. We need to grab the get field method and pass in the name we just grabbed. By getting the field, I'll be able to look at the attributes and look at the values within the enumeration. So now let's go ahead and get the value. Actually, let's go ahead and get the name first. We already have the name, sorry. We're going to use this get raw constant value. This get raw constant value is new to .NET 2.0. It's also available in 3.5, and it will actually grab the numerics on here. Now we have these two things, and we actually need to return them back. So let's go ahead and create another class real quick, and we'll call this list values. List values is going to contain our name, we're going to want a description. We'll get to that in a second. And a key. So let's go ahead and go up here and change this to return an iList of list values. We'll have a return values. So I need to go ahead and add some data here. And go ahead and get rid of this. And now I've built my logic to actually parse my enumeration apart into the key and the value pair. Let's go over to my form real quick and actually implement this. What do I call that class? Enum parser. I made that static, didn't I? Now that I have the values, let's go ahead and stuff this into my combo box real quick. I've now set up so that my combo box should be populated with my enumerations. Let's run this, see if it actually works. And sure enough, black, blue, green, red, all my values are there. Now I can hear you now going, you know what, Derik, a lot of my enumerations aren't friendly. They'll have like deep black. And I don't want deep black to be in my enumeration value or in my combo box. Well, the good news is there is a built-in description attribute that you can use. It's in the system.component namespace. And this will actually allow us to do something like this. I can name this black. So the enumeration name that is defined can change, and I can actually give it a description. And maybe we want to change this from red to dark red. Go ahead and fix that typo. Well, in order to do that, it won't work out of the box. I actually have to tweak my logic above to actually pull out that value. To do that, I just have to grab the custom attribute off of that field. So let's do we're going to call get custom attributes. We want to do type of. It's our description attribute. And we don't care if it inherits, so we're going to say false. This will actually grab us the attribute, but it won't actually give us the value yet. We have to do that down here. We need to check to see if the attribute, since it's an array, if it has a length greater than 0. If it does, then we need to do something with it. Let's bust this down on a new line for us. And if there is no description, let's go ahead and just use the name. Now let's go back over to our form. Let's change this from name to description. Let's run this again. Now it says black and dark red, so it's actually read my enumeration or my attribute values. It's been exactly what I wanted. So you've seen pretty easily, or seen pretty quickly, how easy it is to do it using reflection. Now let's just have some fun real quick, and let's do it with link. Go ahead and comment this code out. Now, link is pretty cool and pretty powerful and allow us to do the exact same thing. Won't really reduce the number of lines of code, but it's a little cooler, a little slicker. Let's do from E, and I want to do my enum get name. Got to do the same thing as we did before. But this time, instead of doing it, doing our own looping, we're just going to use let, which is a keyword within link. And we're going to create another let real quick, another variable. And then finally, we're actually going to project the results directly into our object for us. And now I've done the same thing using ling. It's supposed to be E, not enum type. Let's have this as a result. And we'll come down here. We'll do return values equal result. Let's run this and see if we get the same result. Sure enough, we do. So we have two different ways to get the exact same result. So what we've been taking a look at today, we've taken a look at how to interrogate enumeration to grab out the keys and the values and use that information to populate a combo box. You can of course use this to populate anything you want. I just happen to use a combo box. Till next time, hope you learned something.